Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and today is Saturday the 30th. We're supposed to do the Christmas thing with the kids today, but it got changed till tomorrow. It goes back to being flexible. Girls, it goes back to being flexible. You know, that if my son has to work today and my granddaughter has to work today, but they both have tomorrow off, tomorrow's fine. We can do it anytime everybody wants to get together. So we're doing that tomorrow. So I thought today the video we would do is on having a good path, all right? A purpose. And when I say a purpose in life, you're here for a reason, right? This is what I've always felt. Because more than once, I near misses, you know, kind of has you scratching your head like, you know, there's got to be somebody looking out after me. And my grandfather used to say that God takes care of fools and idiots. So I feel I'm double covered on that, right? But a lot of times for people to develop a purpose, and that purpose in life, for me anyways, is I feel that the reason I'm still here is because I have something yet to learn or something yet to teach, right? Because I feel that if you don't learn what you need to learn on your first time around, you get to come back again and redo it all over till you get it right. And if you're here and you got it right, and your main purpose is to teach someone how to do it right, then you've been pre-selected to be here, right? But everything you look at in life is purpose-driven. You know, it's whether you want to be excuse me, a better person, a better friend, a better husband, a better wife. Girls, better at anything in life. The first step is just saying that you're not happy with where you're at right now. See, the biggest thing with most people I've found, and I'm no different, is we don't like change. Change is scary. Now, what I can tell you is, out of all the changes that I've been through throughout my life, better than 90% were a positive change, where something benefited me more by making that change. But I'll be honest with you, you know, a lot of those changes came from getting to the point of where it bothered me more to stay where I was at than go to the next phase of where I really needed to be. And that slows us down, right? If we're so afraid of change that we put it off, we put it off, and we put it off. And finally you get to a point where you can't put it off any farther. So now it's, you gotta change. But what if there was a way that you could avoid all that wasted time of avoiding and just hit it head first, you know, headlong right into it? So that's what today's video is about. It's about how to avoid wasting time. Okay? Now, if your goal, because here comes the first of the year, right? You know, New Year's resolutions, which nobody sticks to them anyways, right? But if your goal is to be a better person than you were last year or this year, it's almost over, then you have to first admit that you're not happy with the person that you are, even though you're a good person, because you want to become a better person, right? So what I recommend to people is, if you get one of these thoughts, and don't do it on for New Year's resolutions, just on a personal level. This is what today's video is on, is personal development, okay? Is anything you want to do in life or you want to succeed in life, for the most part, is possible. Very possible. But a lot of times, people aren't shown the steps of how to get better. Or people don't have the input back that says what you just did, is that a not so good person, or that you affected somebody else in some way, shape, or form. And if you listen to any of my videos, I talk about, with time, you get experience. And when I say get experience, is the longer you're here on Earth, the more apt you are to go through a process more than once, okay? So you get experience from how you handle that. And you take the good and the bad. What was the good that came out of that experience? And what was the bad? And how do we change the bad to a less bad and more to a more good column, right? That's wisdom. If you don't learn from your past mistakes, you'll never change and correct them to make good choices, right? And a lot of times it's environmental. It's where you live, the people you're around, society in general, But the good thing is if you so desire to want to change, to become better at anything you want in life, it's very possible. Very possible. But we're going to use that time, experience, and wisdom to our advantage, right? If you're younger and you're having problems trying to either be, have more friends, be more likable, get more done, accomplished, be a better person, a lot of that comes with time. And more times that you're in an interaction with someone, and what you came away with. And not only what you came away with, what they came away with. All right? The other thing that I've found is that a lot of people try to be somebody else because they aren't comfortable being themselves, because they're afraid that someone will hurt their feelings, So what we first need to do is we need to take away that hurt your feelings, okay? Because what we want is the 100% you. Not someone that you're trying to portray. Because you can only keep that charade up just so long, right? And I've seen people that, were different at home than they are out in the public. I call it acting. If you want to do acting, go to California and get into the movie business, I guess. But if you want to have good relationships, friendships, and honest, good relationships of spouse to spouse or partner to partner, then the real you has to come forward. And none of this can change until we can get you to get the real person to come forward. Because I know for me that in the early years, I tried to be something that I wasn't. And, I was feeding off from what other people thought of me and wanted me to be, instead of just being me. And you're going to tell me, well, if I'm just being me, then maybe some of the friends that I have aren't going to like me anymore. Okay. What I can tell you is you're not going to be liked. If there's 100 people on this list, not all 100 people are going to like you, all right? But I guarantee you that number is going to be higher if you're yourself than if you're trying to play something or somebody that you're not. Because let's be honest, a lot of us can see right through the charade, and we wonder why. And it's because you're afraid of getting hurt. You're afraid of stepping outside with the real you. But what goes along with being the real you is then you start to attract people because you're more content, you're happier because you're not acting. You know, if you're that type of person that just says things are off the top of your head, but you've been portraying this, keep your mouth shut, don't say anything, I can't do this, you know, you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting everybody that's around you that would love to see the one that, even though every once in a while it gets you into trouble, your mouth, but that's you. And you can curb that a little bit, still being you. But I think you can see where I'm going. Is that I'd rather have 2 or 3 really good friends, close friends, than 100 friends by trying to be somebody that I'm not. Because those 3 know me. Those 3 like me for who I am. But now if there's traits about yourself that are disliked, we can change traits. We can change certain things. But we as a person have to first admit what that trait is or what that behavior is and say that we don't want it anymore, and then make the necessary steps to change that behavior from a bad behavior to a good behavior. Nobody's going to make you change. This is all on you and within your control if you so desire to want to change. So I tell folks, stop trying to change somebody else into something that they're not. They are who they are, and the only way that they will change is when they decide they want to change. I mean, does that make any sense? So, with time, experience, wisdom, we've seen certain situations play out, right? And that's why I always say, you need to know what your history was so that you don't repeat the bad stuff, all right? Most of the time we're left with trying to teach ourselves of what is the right behaviors and what is the right way of being yourself, right? Because a lot of people are afraid to, say something to you because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Whereas, had they said something, because it may be something you don't even notice, how can you change? And then, do you want to change? Because that's the other thing. Is I have certain people that I've had, girls, I've had people in my life that thought my behavior wasn't the greatest, okay? And it was because it wasn't feeding into their mantra of what they thought I should be as a person. But yet, they're role-playing their part and being afraid to come out and be the real them And if they are the real them, and you're being the real you, there would be no problems with communicating back and forth between the two of you, because you're both, content in who you are. And when I say content, I don't mean that you don't want to change or that you can't change. I'm saying that you feel comfortable enough in your skin to take constructive criticism and look at it. And then ultimately you take a look at it and see, well, is it something that I want to change? Now, getting back to being purpose-driven. Now, purpose-driven is, there's a reason that you're here, right? And you may never know why you're still here for a purpose. But while you're here, enjoy it. And look for things that bring you enjoyment. I've always said that anything that brings you enjoyment that isn't hurting somebody else, is fine. And I'm not talking drugs, alcohol, all that. I'm talking about your attitude, your wit, how you come off, and how you approach things. See, the best way I can tell you to accomplish any goal, any plan, any action is try to do better today than you did yesterday. Compete with yourself, not with the people around you. Because the people around you may not want to get any better than what they are, or they're role-playing and they're content on role-playing for right now. But we're not talking about that, we're talking about you. So if you compete with yourself on a daily basis to become better at whatever it is than you were the day before, as each day goes and you're doing better than you did the day before, and that takes practice, it takes study, it takes what have you, then there's not anything that you can't overcome or accomplish. If that makes sense. And I'm not saying, like a disclaimer here, if you have mental health issues that are going on, that does not make you less than a person. I think it makes you more than a person. But here's like the line in the sand, right? When it starts getting to a point of where it's getting you more negative results than positive, and that is, suicidal ideations to, doing things that you normally wouldn't do, to where it's causing bigger problems in your life with your family, and then you probably are going to have it addressed. And the good thing is there's a lot of good meds out there, and it's no different than having diabetes. If a diabetic doesn't take their insulin, what happens? Of course, they get worse, and they could die, right? You have to take the same mentality with your mental health that you do with your physical health. And I've always said less is more. And what do I mean by that? I mean the less meds you have on board, the better off you are, okay? Because the last thing you want to be is all drugged up. Because we have to talk about the quality of life. The quality of life issue says that You have a right to enjoy your life while you're here and not be drugged up and miss all the great things that are going on. So we'll start wrapping this up. The main purpose of the video is to find purpose, to find reasons for being here, and then to be yourself. And sometimes you've been portraying somebody else for so long, you feel like you've lost yourself. But you're still there. Don't worry. It may take a little longer to find you, but you're still there. And just peel those layers off, And the good thing is that you can change and be who you are. But nobody else can do it for you, right? Stop trying to put yourself in situations of where you need to be somebody that you're not to other people. Excuse me. So the first thing we need to do is we need to first find the real you. Find out what the real you wants out of life. Change the behaviors that aren't benefiting you. And increase the behaviors that are. Now, be careful when I say that's not benefiting you. If it's not benefiting you because somebody else didn't like what you had to say or something, that could be simply because it doesn't fit their mantra of who you should be. And I'm sorry, nobody else has a right to tell you how you should be. Except you. So the sooner you become the real you, the quicker we can start change. And as I said earlier on, a lot of times the reason that we don't change is because it causes fear. And fear has the way of immobilizing a person into not doing something. And what I've found to be the case is most often people don't change until it becomes more fearful to stay where they're at than to go to that next level, if that makes any sense. And that's what I call wasted time, right? But it's not totally wasted time because you're still in that time, experience, and wisdom mode, right? If you're younger, you're not going to have a lot of experience, okay? And that's okay. It'll come. But that doesn't stop you from being the real you. And if the real you maybe isn't liked by the popular kids, that's okay, right? Because maybe it's the nerds that love you. As I said, I'd rather be around a few good people, good friends, than 100 that were friends only because of what I was portraying. And you think, well, with me portraying to be somebody that I'm not, the only person I'm hurting is myself, right? No. No, you're not. You're hurting a lot of people. Because you're doing and saying things most often that is totally against who you are if you're trying to be popular. And I see so many people try to get better and they base it on a competition against somebody else. And competition is good. Don't get me wrong. But I've found the best way to get better and to become better at anything in life is to compete with myself. Because I know where I'm at in life, okay? And I know what I know. And I know what I need to know. purpose, the path. I need to know where I am right now, and I need to know where it is I want to end up, and then figure out a way to get from here to there, right? And it's just, putting steps into place. Hopefully this will resonate with some of you out there. If just one person gets it, that's okay. But I'm here to tell you that the real you is what most people want. And it's not somebody that you're not. Like I say, if you're that good of an actor, you may want to go to California, to Hollywood, and get into the Actors Guild. But if you want good relationships with friends, partners, spouses, anybody, you first have to come forward. The real you. And are some people not going to like the real you? Yep. I guarantee it. Because you're not doing and saying what they think you should be. You have a right to live your life the way you want, to be happy. Okay? And I've seen people that were very anxiety driven, basically, but a husband getting down on his wife, or a boyfriend getting down on his girlfriend because when they go out he feels that she's too flirty, and it's more about him than it is about her. Okay, if he was good, feeling good about himself, he would be thinking, yeah guys, but she's mine, instead of getting down on her for being her. Because probably, if you look, she was the same way when you first met that she is right now. The only person you can change in this world is yourself. And it's all attitude. It's all the willingness to want to change. So on that note, you guys have a great Saturday. And if you find that this video, this channel brings you any value, and you enjoy seeing stuff like this, if you could subscribe. I guess if you ring the bell, it'll tell you when I got new videos coming out. And share it with your friends that you think that this message might help them become a better person. So you guys have a great day.